Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is our year to shine, and we are continuing on our topic of Christine Arylo's book, Madly in Love with Me. How are you doing with this book so far? Is it definitely making you think differently and give a nod to the various ways through the self-love tree that we're loving ourselves? So last time we talked about the first one, and the next one is self-acceptance, which shocks me. How could that be the second one that we're talking about? Because to me, that feels like it should be the last one, like once we've mastered all the other ones. It is so triggering to me, that entire chapter. I'm skipping it for now. I will definitely do it, I promise. But I have to digest it a little bit more. I have to do some of the exercises. That is, well, out of all of them, yeah, it's probably my hardest one. And everything I'm reading, she just makes it seem like it's so easy to change that. And I know it's only a thought and thoughts can be changed, but I'm skipping that. And so today we're going to be talking about self-care, which feels a little bit easier. And we are doing every month our Cheryl Richardson extreme self-care challenge, I should say. And so Christine has some great exercises, some really good daring acts of love in this section. Again, we are encouraged to take our self-love pulse at the beginning in terms of how that relates to self-care and whether you're taking care of yourself. She makes some good points here by saying, the reason we struggle so, even when we're so clearly wanting to take care of ourselves, it can boil down to two things: bad programming and a screwed up value system. It's just like self-love, where you're not necessarily taught that it's an okay thing. Sometimes in your life, you were brought up with the thought that you're supposed to put everybody else and their needs and their time and all that stuff in front of your own. So you're not making your own care a priority. And last year, I hope you have watched some of the videos from last year during our Simple Abundance year, because Sarah was so big on self-care and scheduling life around our self-care. So making sure that you don't get depleted. And I like Christine's analogy later in this section about depletion. So I'll wait till we get to that before I say that. Of course it's hard, she says, to consistently follow through on taking care of yourself. So she understands. The world and your mind have been working against you. If your mind tells you that resting, relaxing, and playing aren't valuable, or that you would deserve these things only after working really hard, then of course you won't choose self-care over doing more. Instead, your mind will send bolts of fear and resistance through your body and heart in the form of excuses and rants like, people will think I'm selfish if I don't do this, or if I do this thing for myself, I'm sorry. I mean, it could go either way. Or, I don't have the time to take care of myself, and I have too much to do, and if I stop doing things, I'll fall behind, I'll fail, or I'll starve. So of course you're going to choose self-neglect over self-love almost every time. But the truth is, you don't have to choose between taking care of yourself and others. You can do both. So it's not like you have to just totally disregard everybody else. It's just that you have to make sure that you're on the list as well. The more you take care of yourself, the more you can take care of the people and things you love. That's one of her love truths. So she's asking us some things like, do you really think that you can take care of yourself and everything else? You may not know how you can balance it all in the life, right? You need only be willing to believe it is possible. And can you do that? And are you willing to take one step at a time towards that new reality? Great, she says. Let's take a ride to the magical land of me, where you hear what you need and where you discover great joy in giving to yourself. And so she has 6 steps here. And it's a lot about imagining what your self-care would look like and how you'd feel if you were so replenished, and what you might even do for yourself. Like maybe you would go to a spa or something like that, or spend some time with your kitty who's talking to me. That's Annabelle, my kitty co-host. And again, this is about connecting with yourself. So we talked last time about having self-awareness and really having a conversation and honest communication with yourself. So this is more of that. She just woke up from a nap. And then how do you keep the flow going is a question that she asks too. Because it could be like a New Year's resolution where you're just like, this year I'm going to do such and such. And then you sort of fizzle out with it. So sometimes it's a matter of using a schedule or having, like, knowing, like for me now, Sundays, that is my total Sabbath. Like I don't make any plans. If I want to stay in my pajamas the whole day, then I will. And at least I know if the rest of the week is really hectic that I have that time. And it really, I was thinking about what a difference now. It's been a month since I have been having my weekends off, and it's making a huge impact on me positively. I just feel like I've sort of like released a lot. I've just been savoring the quiet times. I've been really reflective and journaling, working a lot on my therapy, and so it's definitely a positive. Yes, you like the time. Oh, she wants to be on the video. You like the time that we spend together. She loves Sundays. So here are some guidelines for good self-service. Check in with yourself. I listen to myself, she says. Follow through. I do what I say that I will do. Consistency and frequency. From morning till night on a daily basis, I'm here for myself. And 4, loyalty and flexibility. I am willing to drop everything, rearrange my schedule, and make sure the person I am serving, and that's me, gets what she needs. So that could take a lot of strength. If you have this deadline at work, or it just feels like work is never ending, and you just have to say, I'm sorry, I have something going on. And they don't have to know that it's time with you. But if you don't take that, then you're going to be totally depleted and not even able to give anything the next time you're at work, and you'll probably be just really miserable all the time. She says, what I've found to be true about self-love in general, but especially about self-care, is the small things we do over and over again that make the big difference. We often think that it has to take a lot of money to take care of ourselves, or a lot of time that we'd need to find. But really, self-care starts and succeeds with changing our mindset and creating new and very simple self-care beliefs and habits that, when practiced daily, make mighty differences without breaking the bank or sucking up all of your time. So she has 2 of the best self-care beliefs and habits that she's going to share with them. New belief: if I start my day by taking care of me, I will be better taken care of. And a love habit is ask yourself what you need first thing every day, and then give it to yourself without question and without fail. So she goes into this thing that she encourages you to do when you wake up in the morning, and it's really like lay there in bed for a moment, put your hand on your stomach or your chest, your heart area, and breathe in and just connect. And she even has you evaluate, well, in the Daring Act of Love, which is start your day by taking care of your needs, she has you evaluate what are the first 6 things that you're doing in the morning. Like, are you getting up and maybe like checking your phone immediately, or your email, or something that like just sets you off negatively or starts the stress going? And so she has you evaluate what are those first few things that you're doing, and she wants you to change them to be more of a self-care nature. So remember in our Simple Abundance year how Sarah had that one of the tools was doing like a little breakfast tray for yourself? Maybe in the morning, some of your things in the morning are just really feeling like chores. And first of all, you could do some things at night to make your mornings feel a lot better and give you even just 5 or 10 minutes to listen to some music while you eat or something, or just actually sit down to eat instead of like grabbing a bagel on the way to work. So you could evaluate where your stress comes in the morning and try to, she uses the number 6, try to make the first 6 things that you do be positive. So maybe it's like you get out of bed and you put the most luxurious slippers on and they just feel so good, or your bathrobe is so soft, and you just go over and sit in a chair and sip some tea, and you have some quiet time, or you meditate, or you journal or something, and you brush your teeth, and you know, like, that's healthy, taking care of myself. You might wash your face and put some luxurious lotion on, and then you might make a hearty breakfast for yourself. So I lost count, I don't know if that was 6, but instead of getting up and, you know, I don't even want to go through all the negative things that we probably have first thing in the morning. I think the technology thing is smart, to just not wake up and have that be the first thing if it sets off your stress. So she does say that this process is going to take a few days, because you're going to need at least 3 days to evaluate what you're doing and sort of counting them. And then you need to come up with the things that you're going to switch, that are going to be more of a self-care nature, and things that you will, like, what do you need in the morning? Maybe you need, I talked about this last year too, maybe you need your spouse to just be quiet, or elsewhere. You don't want to wake up. I'm remembering when I was married, I like things to be quiet in the morning, and I didn't like when we would get in the car and there would be like a loud news program on or something like that, and I just wanted to just be like slowly sort of waking up, even though I was physically awake. I just didn't want to be like bombarded with the news, which I've never been a fan of anyway. But yeah, first thing in the morning and in a loud car and everything, like so everybody has different needs, and so maybe it's more difficult if there's a someone you share your home with that you have to communicate that to. Or maybe it's a matter of getting up earlier or something. And we did talk last year a lot about having the quiet time for yourself, and an hour per day for yourself. So maybe that's in the morning, and maybe that's how you start your day. Maybe you get up and do yoga or stretch or something like that. Yeah, that's only going to start your day off on a better note. So she has I encourage you to read 123 and 124, because she has 7 lists of things that you can do in the morning, from hugs and kisses with someone you love, even if it's a pet, she says. And I have to say, so in this new place that I lived, Annabelle was never able to be in my bedroom ever before, and now she sleeps on my bed with me, and I didn't know how that was going to be, but I actually love it. And she's a very good bedmate. She doesn't try to sleep on me or against me. She sleeps in her own little spot. But my favorite thing is in the morning when it's time to get up, and she's not the kind of cat that tries to wake me up. She's probably an equal sleeper to me. So sometimes I wake up and then I have to say, where are my morning snuggles, you know, and then she comes up. But we never had that before. I never saw her until I was getting out of my bedroom in my old place, and then we weren't snuggling in the morning. So I think she's gotten used to it. I'll probably never be able to go back to any other way. So see if you can change that. It's called the love start to your day. See if you can change those things that you're doing in the morning to be more of a self-care flair. All right, and so then, what are you doing? So then, I'm sorry, there was a guy working on the furnace earlier, which is why she was hiding and sleeping, and now she wants to get in where the furnace is. You smell somebody else in there? She's a silly girl. So remember I told you in my journal last year that I always have a page that says, what are some of the things that fill my love tank? And I also had the list of my simple joys, or they could be joyful simplicities, like Sarah Ban Breathnach's book, Simple Abundance, had a lot of those. So I got the word love tank from a seminar that I was at, and it's interesting because Christine also has a love tank. In fact, she shows like a little tank here with a heart, sort of like a stir in it, and it has percentages on it, or like levels, like a pouring measure would have. And so, not unlike the checking of the love pulse, she's checking on that. She calls it the energy tank. So it could be, I just use the word love tank. So for me, I'm thinking of like all the things that that fill my soul, for instance. And so that would again be energy tanks, energy or love tank. So she has a gradient from 0 up to 100 and how full you're feeling, and you just never want to get to the point where you're really, does she say below a certain amount? Yeah, don't go below 50% basically. Get support now. Do not pass this point. Do not keep pushing through on all self-care levels, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Get yourself what you need in order to move past half full. So you always want to be more than half full. Oh, all right, and we talked about this a lot as well. This is a daring act of love, and it's saying no and keeping time and energy for yourself. I've said this before, I don't have a problem with saying no. It says no with love on page 128. So, and one of you said in a statement, in a comment on the channel here, that the best advice you got once was that no is a full sentence. No, period. Yeah, you don't have to give explanation. And just like say it was a Sunday and somebody asked me to do something, I would say, I'm sorry, no, I have plans already. I probably, if it's a close friend, I'd probably tell them what it was anyway, and we'd just do it on another day. I don't know, I don't feel like I have a lot of people asking me for things that, like, it's not difficult for me to say no in the first place, but I also don't feel like there's a ton of demands on me anyway, so it's not something that is an issue for me anymore, really, that much. All right, so then we have the me art. That's our 3-year-old art. Create an I care for me proclamation. And this is again, I think just like, the love bath that we were doing where she was saying that somatically, like if you're getting the words into your body and mind with emotion, like of scrubbing and rubbing and things like that, I think that's why she's having us do the me art as well. And maybe she's just like on the artistic side. I like it though. So in every section she's given us a little project where you can have fun and get your crayons out and just, so this one is how you care for me and how you are, like, what are your statements going to be? And doing that involves evaluating what your self-care beliefs are to begin with, and then reframing them positively. She has us doing that a lot. Claiming your new beliefs and habits and proclaiming your proclamation. So here's her mantra for self-care. I love taking care of myself first. I love taking care of myself well. I love taking care of myself every day. I am worth taking good care of. So how do you think you're doing with self-care? I think I do a good job with having time for myself and getting centered, and I think I'm conscious of my mental and emotional health and having fun things to do. I think I could be way better about my body. I find myself constantly, like I might try to eat better or something, and then I don't, and then I find myself as I'm eating going, I don't care. like literally, it's almost like I'm just talking to somebody who's saying like, you can't eat that, and I'm just like, I don't care, I can eat whatever I want. So I don't think that's a very self-care positive thing if I'm just filling my body with junk sometimes, or I'm really, at this point in my life, I'm just totally sedentary. I like to walk, but since I moved, there's just not really a good place, and there's snow on the ground, and so those are places that I could definitely improve. Do I feel motivated to change those things? Not necessarily. I'm more right now, well, part of the thing with the food where I go like, I don't care. I just feel like I have so much that I'm trying to heal and everything right now. It's like I can't also be putting pressure on myself to lose weight and other stuff right now. It's just like I can't. I'm like working on some serious issues, so like something's got to give. And I feel decent right now. I'm not feeling horrible about my body 100% of the time anyway, but I'm rambling, sorry. Let me know how you feel about self-care and how you might think you're doing on a scale, compared to the other branches that we're going to talk about. I promise I'll go back and talk about self-acceptance. I might just have to not do any commentary on it and just share Christine Arylo's words. And I think the self-acceptance is basically, I think self-acceptance is closest to self-love. So that's why I'm shocked it was the second branch to talk about, because I'm not ready to do that yet. I don't know about you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your comments. I love hearing from you guys, and I'll see you on the next video as we continue on with our Growing of Love section of the book and all the branches of self-love.